All right, have 20, 30 minutes here, maybe before soccer match starts. Figured I'd go over the new research sockets. I've kind of been avoiding it just because I'm depressed that I don't have the Liberator gear, and I'm just not willing to give NZ more money today. Probably this week even. So I guess let's take a look real quick what they have to say about it, and then we'll go through and actually um, do the research sockets. All right. So research sockets, it's going to give us a ton of boosts, right? If we look at what the new max stats are, you're talking 500 million Legion attack, 1 billion mobile trap attack. Of course, this is if everything's maxed out. Um, Defense, you're talking 100,000 resolute troop defense. That's defending only, can't be debuffed. Cannot be debuffed, right? Resolute defense cannot be debuffed. It's huge. Notice that traps don't have that, so it'll be interesting to see traps a little bit squishy still. 250,000 Empire defense, 500,000 Legion defense. A defense debuff, you're talking a 450,000 Legion defense debuff, 200,000 Empire defense debuff. When it comes to the Wonder, you're talking a billion Rally and Wonder mobile trap health. Okay, so they do have considerable health boost here, even though they don't have the resolute defense on the traps, but only in rallies and Wonder. 500 million Wonder holding attack debuff, and a billion in camping, raiding, gathering tile health. So tile combat is pretty solid, right? And so we'll just walk through how to play. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to end up using gems, and gems are worth points. Points then get tallied up to figure out what tier, what benefit you're going to get from those gems. Obviously, the better the gem, better quality the gem, the better off that it's going to be for you point-wise. Now, Mythical Liberators are currently the top gem in the game. They're going to give you the most. They're going to give you 20 points for the non-starred gem, and for the starred gem, they're going to give you 30. Where if you bounce down to Divine Mythical, you're only going to get 2 points per, or 5 points for the starred gem. So that's, Liberator 10 times more powerful. Great thing is, in Game of War, best of my knowledge, you never lose your gems. You can always plop them and reuse them. So I don't have a bunch of Liberator gems to mess around with, so I'm just going to go ahead and use Divine, and that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and swallow those up and see what kind of benefits we can get. So if we go in, up here at the top, you're currently seeing Research Sockets. That's because I unlocked it. If you don't have it unlocked, you'll see something that says Get Research Sockets. You click that, it's going to open the sockets for you. All right, so we're just going to click in, and we're going to go to Research Sockets. Right, it's going to tell you what the benefits are for each one of those, and it's going to actually show you the points. Okay, so you kind of have red, blue, green. It's going to show you the points for red, blue, green. So let's just go into economics. And you have construction, gathering, gold gathering, troop load. Right, and so if we go into embed, it's going to show us what gems we have available. Again, I only have the Mythical Divines available to me, so that's the best I can do. And it'll show you the honor points that you're going to get for each one of those, right? So I'm going to get 2 honor points there, 2 glory points, or 2 valor points, or 5 of each kind of point. Since I want, at this point, as max points as possible, I'm going to go ahead and use my Mythical Divine Topaz, and I'm just going to kind of max those out. So I'm just going to embed there, and see, I can remove it if I want it removed, and I get it back. So no risk really here. Might as well use gems that are just sitting in your inventory not being used anyways. And I'm just going to go ahead and use for each one of these just so we can see what the bonus is. And then I'll probably come back and not use these on things that aren't as important to me. Okay, so there we have it. You see 20, 20, 20. That's because they were worth 5 points each. And for each of the honor, glory, and I forget what the third one was, valor points. Okay, Now again, if you were using Liberators, those would be 20, 20, 20. You would have 60, 60, 60 sitting here. Instead, I'm sorry, you'd have 80, 80, 80 instead of 20, 20, 20. So pretty decent, right? And you can see each one of those. Now let's go see what the benefits are. And you can see the benefits for each level, it looks like. So if you had 25, 25, 25, you see the X's, it means I haven't achieved those yet. And so I've got my honor points. Okay, so even getting the lowest level here, you're looking at a mobile trap attack. I mean, look at these bonuses. So let's just go ahead and fill this tree out and see what we can grab. All right, so we're just going to do combat. And it looks like it doesn't matter. The boost doesn't apply to the actual element that you see there. The best I can tell, that might change in the future. But this just tells you what you're using there. So I'm just going to use the topaz until they're gone. Right? And then I'll start moving to something else. And I might come pluck these back later. But so at a later date, you'll probably see me streaming and bitching about how long it takes to remove all these damn gems and go put Liberators in. It also looks like you don't have a one-to-one mapping for a number of research trees, right? So they could start to add more items underneath this, which means more gems, which means more honor points, which means more bigger, badder buffs, which in typical MZ style, I would not expect that to ever end. I suspect that this will be a never-ending cycle that we go through. I believe they're probably putting this out there to try to get gems out of the game, meaning there's probably a surplus of gems that they're trying to get eaten and get people to really have a reason to go after those Liberator gems and do the research, right? Because I'm assuming, I'm not sure, I have almost all my research trees done, or all my research trees done. So you can see I go all the way through Pantheon, and I have all those unlocked. So I suspect these are not available to you if you don't have the research tree done or research tree started. I'd love to hear from somebody who doesn't have research all the way done to see what happens if you don't have a research tree done. Are these still available to you or not? Again, I suspect they're not, which just gives them yet another reason to want you to accelerate your research and to spend money on the latest and greatest gem sets that are out there. That's pretty status quo for MZ, is to, when they release something new, they really try to make it valuable enough that the big hitters want to buy it to get that competitive advantage. It looks like I'm just going to get 20, 20, 20 on all of these. We'll see. We'll see what that gets us to. Hoping I get a decent boost. Again, this is with no Liberators. If you had Liberator gems, you're going to accelerate through the tree a hell of a lot faster. My guess is we'll probably only get about a third of the way through, maybe 50% of the way through using these divines. And again, that's by design, right? They want you to get those Liberator gems. They also want people that spent good money on getting the divines, and now the Liberators. When you degem all of your sets with the divine, what are you going to do with those? Normally, you're going to sell them for a little bit of copper inside of your Alliance City. Not a very good bang for the buck. So at least this lets a way to kind of trickle down the investments you've already made into the game. It doesn't feel quite so useless. Let's see what we got here. Get each one of these. Good chance I'm going to run out of these topaz, and I'm not willing to go pull it out of my gear. having the gear gem is more important to me. If I run out, I'll just go ahead and continue to use the smaller slots. Won't give me as many points, but be better than nothing. Better than them just sitting in my inventory going to waste. I'm kind of surprised they don't have a preset of some kind where you could just go and apply the preset to everything. Although these aren't, this isn't really too slow, relatively speaking. Could be much worse. Almost done, half done. And then I'll start splitting these across evenly once I run out here. And we're still going, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely they're going through. Okay, I know I'm going to run out at this point, so I'm going to start to just spread them evenly like I would in gear, where I've got just 3 to 2 points and then a star on each one. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop by each color. And this is just because I don't have enough gems. Right? If I had enough gems, I would be putting everything biggest point value. And again, each one of these is worth some number of points, right? So this is 555, you know, where this is just 2 in a single. So these star gems are way more beneficial, right? If you've got them. If you don't have them, then you're going to have to split it across smaller points. You can see that's a 777 opposed to a 20-20-20. So almost 3 times the benefit if you're able to do all star gems. And it would be the same way with the Liberator gems. Just the points are going to be, you know, roughly 10 times those values. So we're not going to get very far in the tree here, but it's worth seeing what we get. All right. How many trees we got left? We got, still got 4 or 5 trees left. So as you can see, this takes a little bit. It's a little bit of a haul. And I don't understand MZ's UX very often. When you want things to close, like here, I would expect this window to close after I apply it, but it doesn't. When I do want things to stay open, they close them. It's typical style for them. They never do what's most useful for the player. So I think the players complain, and once the players complain, they put it into some future VIP level that then, you know, makes you want to go grab that VIP level to get rid of the pain, which I guess is a pretty brilliant model. All right. I'm about ready to run out of those topaz. It's just going to suck. But you know what? There's always another pack waiting, right? And so I'm hoping we'll see pretty good benefit from this, even though I'm not using the latest and greatest. And I'm not going to be able to get these all as topaz. I think we're still going to see a pretty big benefit come from these. And we got 3 more trees left, so we're almost done, folks. Almost done. And we're just going to repeat. And we'll start the next one over. So I'm going to start the next one on green, just so we've got a pretty even distribution of points. Right, so we'll start the next one on green. Just keep going in order. Blue, purple, green. And then we'll start the next one on blue. And then that way we should have even point distribution across all three. We should be at 301, I think, with all of them. Okay, and so we said we'd start on blue this time. And purple. And green. And blue. And this is going to wrap this up for us. All right, I believe we have 30303 on, yeah, the great band, right? 303. Maybe it's lucky. I doubt it, but let's see. Right, so I have all of my trees filled out. I've got, divines in there. Not as good as liberators, not all starred, but a fair amount. So now let's go look at one unlocked. All right, so we unlocked the first at 25 each, the second at 50 each. If I would have had all topaz, I'm pretty much guarantee I would have unlocked this 375. So it looks like you can get a third of the way through this tree using the topaz divine. If you've got the liberators and you use those and you fill those out, you're going to be able to finish this whole tree. If you just do the liberators, is the 3 with a star on each one of these, you're probably going to be a little bit over half full. So let's take a look at even my weak sauce here. We're looking at benefits of what is it, 5 billion? 50 million. Mobile trap attack, 50 million. Wonder holding mobile trap, 50 million, right? Resolute defense, 5,000. Remember, that's non-debuffable, so that's still pretty decent for this little amount of gear. And if we look at, I think we have some tile health here. No tile health. Oh, encampment rating, troop health bonus, also 50, right? So if we were to jump down to the next level, you go from 50 million to a billion, or 100. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Looks like 10 billion. I don't know. I can't see. My eyes not quite good enough in this light. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 100 million. So you're going to double it from 50 million to 100 million at 375. And that's really strong Legion defense at 50,000 at that point. And again, if you go all the way up to max, I mean, it's just insane. So it's very clear to me at this point, looking at these numbers, especially that resolute defense. This is stuff that is kind of must-have to really compete. Resolute troop defense. How's that? All right. So that's how it works. Not real great naming, kind of confusing. Doesn't necessarily make a sense. You're putting gems into a construction research slot that has nothing at all to do with boosting your construction or your gathering. But again, I think they can do a lot with this. They can start to expand out. Obviously, every time they open up a new research tree, they can add to that, add the benefits to that. They can certainly continue to come out with new gems, create the gem values, change those for the benefits. They can add more items underneath. There's a lot they can do with this and continue to grow with it. If you have questions, let me know. If you're seeing anything amazing coming out of these or you want to share, that'd be fantastic too. I don't know if I don't know if these boosts only apply when your hero is present or not. That's probably a good thing to look at. I suspect they probably do, or they only apply. Well, they can't only apply to your city because you've got tile buffs out there and you've got wonder buffs, so they have to apply to more than just your city. So let's see what we've got here. So mythical gems, research socket. Section 24. Okay, so you have to be Academy 24. So if you're not Academy 24, you're not going to be able to unlock this. So know that if you don't see the unlock the socket sets, it's because you're probably not level 24. Let's see if we've got. All right, so we've got some screenshots here, which is stuff I walked through that you should be able to do. Here it shows your points. That's pretty straightforward. So I think that would be something to test. I'm going to suspect it only applies if your hero's around, but that's just a guess by my part. At this point, it's time to go watch USA play some soccer. So I'm out.